Now I'm going to touch the pad. Everybody in the world fused. Yeah, there you go. Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. And you're going, why is it so dark and dingy in Andy's workshop? Well, the answer is this is the other side of the workshop that I haven't really yet done any kind of lighting to. If I just bring the camera around very steady, you'll see that over there, through that sort of partition wall, is the main workshop. Now these are just two single garages side by side, and there is this, where is it? There's the finger, look. This partition wall, and the bottom half is concrete, and it is a load-bearing wall. It's holding up the ceiling at the moment, but we're going to be very soon, removing all of that, putting some steelwork up to support the roof, and then it'll become an open plan garage. But hey, we've got to work with what we've got for now. Everything takes time. Now, this video, sorry about this really crap camera work, this video is a follow-on from the air compressor autopsy video that we did. Basically, I bought an old Sealy air compressor when I was back in the UK 15 years ago to use down at the off-road site for people to blow the tyres up on their Land Rovers and stuff, to reinflate the tyres once they'd finished off-roading for the weekend or for the day. And that air compressor came over to New Zealand with me to be my first air compressor, just to get us going. Little tiny thing, 25 litre tank I think it had. But it sort of did the job, and it worked very hard, and it's done very well. And as we saw in the previous video, it's now died. The field windings had burnt out, and that was caused by the capacitor failing. A common problem with electric motors, AC motors. So I went down to ISL Industries, the importers of Teng Tools, the agents for Teng Tools here in New Zealand, and saw my good friend Brandon. I said, Brandon, I need an air compressor, and I need it real quick. And he said, okay, Andy, no problem. We've got one right here for you, an Atlas Copco. Very good brand. I think they come from Italy, from memory. I'm not too sure. And he said, look, we've got one. It's been damaged in transit, so we can do you a really good price on it. I did have to pay for this air compressor. I can't expect Brandon to give me everything for free. But there is some damage, and I need your help. And I'll come to the reason why in a second. I need your help to locate some parts. Once I got home with the new air compressor, I then took some photos of the damaged bits, and I emailed Atlas Copco New Zealand, who came back to me very quickly, very impressed by the service. I said, yes, no problem. Here's an extract of the parts manual, and I'll put that on the video for you. And these are the two parts that you need, Andy. Unfortunately, one of those parts we have no price or availability on. We've never had one. And the other part is, I think it was $240 odd New Zealand plus GST. And I'm thinking, man, that's really expensive for such a small component. Let me take you across and show you what got damaged. Here we go. So this is the air compressor in question, and the damaged part on the other side. So let's take a little look. So this is the input to the tank, the output from the pump, and it comes into this union here and goes into the tank. And there's also an output, and this output goes, I believe, from memory, up to the sensor. Yes, it does. Up to the sensor. This is the pressure feed to the sensor in the switch that would turn the air compressor off. So at the moment, if that was left off like that, A, would have an air leak here, and B, it would never turn off. So it's a pretty important piece of kit, is this part. And it is two separate components, and what's happened is, it should go on there, and what's happened is it's taken an impact when it's been, in a truck, been taken somewhere by a carrier, a freight company, and it's hit just on here and broken that off. Now, obviously this bit's damaged, it's snapped the threads off, but also there's a flat, and I'll do you a really good close-up, there's a flat on here, so this is actually damaged as well, and this needs to be replaced. So this is the part on the side of the receiver, the tank, and basically on this pipe coming in here, this is the pressurized air from the air compressor pump itself. This is the output going into the tank and feeding the tank. And it's got just here a little outlet which allows this piece to go on. Now I believe this is a non-return valve, and this here is the pickup pipe that goes up to the switch that basically turns the motor on and off depending on pressure. If the pressure's too low, then it gets to reaches a pressure point, the minimum, and then the motor will turn on, and then once it gets to a maximum pressure, it will then turn the motor off. And you can see it's snapped off on the threads. This has taken an impact just here, and it's caused this piece to snap like that, leave its threads behind, and it's also put a flat inside here. And I'll do you a really good close-up so you can see that. So I need two components. I need this bit and I need this piece here. And I have a sneaky suspicion that this is pretty standard amongst quite a few different compressors. I don't need to actually get an Atlas Copco part, hopefully. Right, so just looking underneath, trying to get it to focus for you. You can see at 12 o'clock on the screen, there's a flat section. I can't point it out because I'm holding the camera, but there's a flat section, and it's flatted off those female threads. So it is absolute junk, is that part. So there you go. Has it got any part numbers on it? I think it does. Well, I'll get it whipped off and we'll take a closer look. Right, first job, let's get this bit undone. Now I've no idea what's been done to this previously, whether Brandon's tried to take bits off it or not, but that was loose. Okay. There should be an olive in there somewhere, hopefully. If we can get him out. There we are. Right, we can leave that on there, and that'll be ready to go on to the new one of these once we've got it. Okay, that's one part. Now for this bit. Oh, that was loose. Okay, we can get rid of that. It's another olive. Oh, that's loose at the other end as well. Good to know. Okay, now we've got to try and get this undone. Doesn't look easy. Not too concerned about damaging it because we know it's already wrecked anyway, but I need to get it off the tank. Maybe I'll get maximum leverage off there, look. I noticed that the nut at the other end is already, or the flats are already a bit bent up. God, man, that's very tight, which it should be. I'm going to need a bigger tool. I'm thinking that if I undo this end cap, I might be able to put something through, like a big screwdriver, and use that to assist in undoing it. Wonder what size that is. 19 maybe? Could be wrong. I'm always wrong. Maybe a 22. Okay, 22. Oh yeah, that fits. Give that a go. Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what's inside here. It might just be a blanking plug for the end. I think it is. Doesn't feel like there's any kind of spring behind it. Okay. Oh, there is a spring behind it. Very weak spring, but there is one. So that is a non-return valve, is what that is. Okay. Excellent. Well, that still doesn't justify the $240 of expense. Okay. Well, I reckon I can get probably a pretty big screwdriver in there. Let's have a little look how big the bore is. Yeah, it's probably about almost 10 millimeters. Perfect. Right, is this going to fit? Oh yeah. Okay, well, we know it's scrap, but I just need to get it off. Let's see if that's going to work. Jeez! Somebody's going to give. God, man, that is crazy tight. I'm going to have a think. Okay, I think I might have found a spanner that might just fit with a bit of persuasion. To forgive the earthquakes. Nope, that's not going to go on either, is it? Maybe across the top. Oh, there we are, look. Okay. Let's get that put through there as well. So we've got double leverage. God damn, that's so tight. Who fitted this part? That's mental. What the hell are we going to do? Right, let's give it another go. I've got nothing to lose. Come back. All is forgiven. I think it moved. It did. Fantastic. God, man, that was tight. Spanner's completely useless. Bloody hell. We've got movement. Maybe some spray might help. Jeez, let's work that a bit. Oh, there we go, look. All she needed was a bit of WD-40. That's amazing. I should get free WD-40 for this. Man, that was ridiculously tight. God. Come back. Well, I think while I'm on my travels next week, see if I can find these parts. But if you can help, do let me know. Jeez. Well, the threads will look pretty good. A bit munched up, so I'll put a file across there where it's a bit chewed. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, back to the bench. Okay, well, that was very, very tight getting that one off. Incredibly tight, actually. And you can see where somebody else had tried to remove it and all the flats were damaged. I pretty much gave up pretty early on using the spanner. There wasn't a lot of space, and taking the end piece off and putting the screwdriver through, that was, you know, once we'd done that, that was the downfall of this component coming off. I knew I'd had it. As soon as it moved a little bit, we were game on. And that little bit of WD-40 made a hell of a difference. It's amazing, that stuff, it really is. And they're not a sponsor. I just think, you know, it constantly surprises you. Just put a little bit on, done. Okay, well, let's take a really good close-up look of these two components so you know what parts that I need for this air compressor. Here we go. Right, these are the two parts, and you can see now quite clearly the flat that's been caused when there's been an impact on the side here. It's caused a flat on those female threads in this component. I'm not even going to bother trying to extract that because, you know, it's A, it's going to be really tight in there, and B, this is damaged, so there potentially is going to be a leak around, you know, where the male threads are making contact with the female. There'll be a gap probably here and here, either side of that flat. This is junk. Okay, if we look inside, you can see the one-way valve, and it would operate a bit like that, look, if I push it with a screwdriver. So when the pressure is greater on this side, this is the air coming from the pump, it will, if it's greater than the pressure in the tank, it will push open that valve, and then the air can flow into the tank, and then essentially as soon as it stops pumping, the pressure differential It goes the opposite way, so the pressure in the tank is higher than what's in the pipe, and that will slam shut and hopefully stop it leaking back into the compressor, because that can make it hard for the compressor to restart, but also, you know, you're going to lose over time pressure through the pump because it's going to leak past the rings, isn't it? Okay, right, so what have we got as regards indication of component ID? Well, we've got PV, and then we've got an N, what's that? NW9, it looks like. 168AR is what's written on there. That's the only information on that. So hopefully that's going to be sufficient to identify it as a part. Now, this piece here, there is also a little valvey thing at the end there, look. So if that's the non-return valve, what's this? Well, whatever's down here has got nothing to do, it doesn't cause any kind of restriction to the pressure being fed to the control switch that controls the motor going on and off. Remember, there's a pipe, basically the air comes in here from there. So whatever pressure we've got in the tank is applied here. It goes off down that little black pipe to the control switch. So whatever's in this part here doesn't actually have any effect on that whatsoever. And you know, maybe it's I think it releases vacuum, actually. So whenever there's a pressure in there, that'll be pushed outwards, so you can actually bleed off. So maybe it's a bleeder, so you can bleed off the air of the tank, but you could do that by undoing the drain anyway. Or maybe if the tank, you know, has zero pressure in it, and then it gets to be a really cold day, on a hot day, and then it gets really cold and the vacuum is created, that would then suck in and allow the vacuum to dissipate, because you don't want vacuum in a tank. It could cause damage to seals and all sorts. Okay, well, those are the two parts that we need. I'll keep you updated. Hopefully by the end of the week we should have what we need and get this new compressor installed. Fingers crossed. Okay, crew, well, there you go. This was only supposed to be a really short video, although it took me quite a while to get this taken off. There was a bit of editing going on with that, or that part of the video. And I also thought you might like to see a sneaky peek of the current state of the other part of the workshop. And to give you a little scan around this side here, look as well, if it's free enough. There we go. What have we got? Well, that's a side door. We've got, there's a pillar drill. That's probably about it, all you're going to see actually. Yeah, there you go. Now, we do have, one of the big benefits of this new workshop is, even though it's really rural, there's a cell tower not too far away. And we've got Wi-Fi now in the workshop. And we didn't have that at the old workshop, and that caused a real problem because you know, I couldn't do any live video streams. And that's something that's going to happen for 2019. And believe it or not, we're also going to have 5G. I don't know if that means stuff to other people around the world, but here in New Zealand, 5G is obviously better than 4G, I'm told. So the live streaming should be of pretty high quality compared to previous ones that I've seen on YouTube. Fingers crossed anyway. Okay, crew, well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And if you did, then why not click on the subscribe button. You'll see a little gear icon turn up. Click on the gear icon and then you can tick the box and turn on notifications. Exactly the same as ringing the bell on your smart device. And our friends down at YouTube, well, they're going to send you an email as and when I upload any new videos. And there's usually 2 or 3 every single week. However, I am going away for a whole week on the road as part of my day job, and I won't be able to do any videos during that time. Now, you'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. Feel free to communicate through any of those portals. However, first point of contact, if you don't mind, down the bottom in the comments section on YouTube, because let's face it, that's where the videos are. You can also send me an email if you like. My email address is you know, on the information page on YouTube. And there's also a Patreon page. You can go onto there and read all about the history of the channel, up and coming projects, and of course all the Tool Girl profiles. Tool Girls, I hear you say. Yes, if this is your first video to watch on the channel, you might also have already noticed that there are some videos where there are some Tool Girls giving me a hand in the workshop, and you'll be able to read all about them and how they came to be on the channel on the Patreon page. If you decide to become a patron and issue a pledge, donate a pledge through to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel, then you can unlock various levels of tiers. And within those tiers, you'll find more photos, more information, and sometimes, if you're very lucky, a short video. Although we are waiting for Patreon to increase the file size before we can do any decent sort of videos. But I can upload videos to YouTube and then put a private unlisted link on the Patreon page. So be sure not to share that around because it's exclusive to patrons. If it gets abused, then I'll have to stop doing that. Alright crew, well, that's about it. Until next time, be safe. Cheers, over and out. And we get the flip again.